You people need to stop this behavior. When I started my music production journey thing, one of the big things that they used to bother me and they used to make me feel bad was that people made a huge distinction between beat makers and producers. I think that this whole thing started when FL Studio became very popular. So when FL Studio became popular, you had this generation of producers who had a laptop and made beats and did not know how to play an instrument before they made beats. To my understanding, that's where the whole thing came from. And now it's everywhere. You have tons of boys who just have laptops, and they just make beats without knowing chords, scales, or nothing. Certain people have chosen to make a distinction between those kinds of producers or beat makers and real producers. See, that one irritates me. Oh my goodness. They used that thing to torture me when I was coming up. And they made this huge difference. You're not a real producer, because you can't play keyboard. Yes, but my beat is sweet. And it's sweeter than many of the people who can play keyboard. And so the question now is, do you determine who a producer is based on the skill set or based on the quality of the output? Like, how do you pick those kinds of things? And I think that if you go online and you look at differentiate between a beat maker and a producer, you see all kinds of definitions, which is the beginning of the problem. Some people say that a music producer is a music producer because beyond making the beat, he makes choices that help the song come together. The lines are so blurred because a beat maker, I make the beat, but you have him in the studio and the artist is recording and he has ideas. He'll put those ideas forward. And sometimes it works. And sometimes people are only limited and, considered as beat makers because they're not confident enough to make those decisions, make those calls and say, hey, this is how you should do the vocals, or this is what I want the mix to sound like. Everyone is on this crazy spectrum that goes from here all the way to there. Most people fall in between. And so just making that distinction of beat maker versus producer versus real producer, because you can play scales. I'm happy for you, by the way. It's a great thing. I can't play scales. I still can't play keyboard till now. But if anybody opens their mouth to say that I'm only a beat maker, I'm a couple gente. I'll remove your eye. I'll block your ear. I will send Ojuju to you in the night. Naked Ojuju. But beyond me, forget me. I'm fine. Okay? But there are young, talented boys coming up now. And we like to devalue them or devalue their talent, because their talent is not really the skill. Their talent is their ear and the things that they hear. And we like to devalue them because of the perceived skill set. You need to stop that thing. If you like the boys' beat, take it. But don't arbitrarily say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, therefore you're not a real producer. It's a lie. Stop it. Stop it. You need to stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's about the output. If the output is sweet, it doesn't matter. You should go and look up the history of Timbaland and Missy Elliott. And you will find out, if you watch enough documentaries, that Timbaland started off as a quote-unquote beat maker. And Missy was the one who used to ginger him and say, come, let's do more. Now we think of Timbaland as this huge mega star producer. But I don't think Timbaland played keyboard. Another thing you need to take into consideration is the fact that music has changed. It's just changed. Because now, electronic music, computer-made music is everywhere. And the people the traditionalists who played an instrument, they knock the boys who just make beats on FL and with their computer. Whereas the truth is, as much as you might have invested time and energy learning to play that instrument, that DAW, your FL, your Studio One, your GarageBand, the time invested to get good at that software is also very valuable time, and it's worth something. Okay, so let's stop talking down to people because they're not real producers. Who died and made you a real producer? Shame look at you, old man. Maintain your champion, and bye for now. By the way, I also wrote a 90-minute screenplay about this particular problem. If you want it, reach me in the DM, I will say. Also, Esther Peters has a new song coming out in July. And guess what? I produced it.